Oh, perfect. So you see, I was on a plane coming back from Maui, and they request they put on the speech whatever it is. Anyone with medical experience, we need assistance. I find I look at my wife. She goes, "Don't even think about it."
Say it out loud.
No.
Ladies, this is Dr. Tony Ratcliffe, and we're so pleased to have him joining us. As you know, he's a chiropractor, and his practice is here in Upland, correct? And actually, I have some handouts for you. I'll share once we're done here. If you guys would mind taking a moment, introducing yourself, maybe give him a little bit of your background and stuff, and then we'll take it from there. If that's okay with you.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Marisa.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
I don't have time for all my
Well,
issues.
give him a brief synopsis if
Spiel.
you're comfortable.
Oh, yeah, but I'm good. I'm gonna have my left knee replaced on Wednesday. I have a partial in there. Now it's old. They didn't make it anymore, so that'll be coming out. It'll be a new one.
All right.
A full one here.
All right. You're
I
robotic.
had some rotator cuff.
She's our sixth
here,
grade
here, yeah.
Good for you. You all taken care of, right?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Well, I think you've all heard me. You mentioned my chiropractor who keeps me going. So this is Dr. Rakovic, and I think very highly of him. And I think we're privileged to have him here. And I'm glad Denice was instrumental in making it happen.
Hi, I'm Philomena Sebastian. I don't have anything else to say.
Take care of your body. That's the biggest.
Yeah.
Good. Email.
Hi, I'm Rosalie, and if anything, which I have it under control, sciatic nerve.
This is what I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So as
Good.
long as I stretch, and coming here, she showed me what to do, and it really has helped a lot.
That's the point. We got to take care of our bodies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Fantastic.
just stretches right back here, and so as long as so when I feel anything, I'll not do it, and then okay, I better start doing it again.
We all know our bodies, right?
Right.
That's the key. We have a problem going on. How do we treat our bodies well? Knowing what it requires to stay healthy.
Yes.
And class like these are phenomenal, I think.
Yeah, well, we enjoy them, and they tolerate me, so.
Well, a lot of the thing is not just doing it here, as you mentioned, it's doing it all the time, every day. I tell my patients, only do it days and why? Because every day is why. So how do we make sure we take care of our bodies? The daily self-care I think is huge. The stretching if need be, the strengthening if need be too. Even if icing, if you have sciatic pain, does icing up this heat help for you? I just tell patients, it's your body, it's not my body. How do we help you, maybe a chiropractor, a therapist, someone else, help you learn how to take care of your body? And once we get to a healthier state, if someone comes sciatica, someone coming today, mechanic, that sciatica down the right leg, could barely get out of a chair. I took some x-rays, saw what's going on with the x-rays, got them adjusted, showed some exercises, even sent them the videos too. So when someone understands I have a problem, I think especially with guys who are more, I call them Neanderthals more than women are, they take longer to understand I have a problem. But once you have a problem, you're gonna listen more when you're in pain. And when you're in pain, now's the best time for me to help them. I have a window to teach them how to take care of their body. So we take x-rays, the mechanic shows what's going on. We're showing them the x-rays, demonstrating with them what to do, how it's done, what you should feel, gets them to start the process like you do here, how to make sure you feel the right things, so you're treating your body to get healthier and not sometimes overdoing it or not doing enough too. When I stretch someone, as Denise does too, she wants to see how you're reacting to it. How does that stretch feel to you? If you see like your face is grimacing, for me I go, great. That's the start of understanding sometimes being uncomfortable is a good thing. To stretch our body more than we're used to. Sometimes we understand that to get our body to change, it has to be under stress to adapt to that stress. By doing that, then our body can adjust to a healthier state, and that's what we're aiming for. And then adding more to your routine over time to make sure we have enough for the day, and then fine-tuning that so we can keep our body healthy overall. For me, myself, I go to the gym at basically right now only 3 times a week, at 5 in the morning, to where I stretch at 4:30, stretch for 15 minutes, at that point I go to workout. That's my routine, again, every day. If I don't work out those days, I'm still stretching that morning before I take my dog for a walk. So it's finding a routine every day, maybe morning, night, after whatever works for your schedule, to stay healthy. Not because we have pain, because we want to make sure the pain doesn't come back. And when someone's out of pain, for me, how do you get stronger over time? Strength gives you endurance to handle your day. And your best insurance policy so pain can't come back. It's not about pain relief, it's about getting our body stronger to handle that load of our day, our stress of our day. Maybe go to cost, maybe lifting water, whatever it is, maybe yard work. How do we make sure that day's gonna be good? And the next day, next day.
Go to Costco, lifting water.
That's why I mentioned it. I know someone's history of their
We won't
routine
mention
sometimes.
names.
No.
We know what you're talking about.
But it's that routine I think people need to get into. And your class is how many days a week?
Well, we do this once a week here. Okay, then we also have a yoga class here.
Yes.
We have a
Good.
chair arthritis class here.
Awesome.
And such. So we offer a variety of options here. But one thing we always talk about, and I hopefully I convey, is that at some point you're going to become so in tune with your body that the things that you do unconsciously will come to you, and you'll begin to work those things into your body. Some of us are great hip swingers. Because that relieves our tension. Some of us are great forward bend people because we know that helps release tension in the lower back. When you start to see yourself doing these things automatically, whether you're in class or not, that to me is a sign of a true yogini, for one thing. Because it's become a part of your lifestyle, not just a temporary fix for an immediate problem. And by doing that, by incorporating that, and then by having it become a part of your lifestyle, as Dr. Tony says, you're less likely to have recurrence of those issues or severe recurrence. And you're also better able to manage them when they do happen, because your body is stronger and better able to respond to it.
It's almost that motion is so important to maintain throughout the day. Physically, emotionally, neurologically, chemically, hormonally. When we don't move enough, our body can go to a stress state, especially with chronic pain, where it wants us not to move, produce more catecholamines, more cortisol to keep us in that stress state, hormonally, neurologically, and also chemically. It goes to our brain, it gets our brain to get our whole body to stress. And people come to my office, they've been under chronic pain for so long, they're having chest pain. They don't have a heart problem, they've been checked out by cardiologists, but those nerves go to your heart, they go to your lungs, they go to your other organs of your body to feel stress and tension. So by moving and understanding what your body can do, allows you to make sure your body stays in this relaxed state, where your body can stay strong state, if you want to call it stress of your day, and make you want to stay healthy. So have linear movements, and I tell people too, you're your best doctor. You're your best doctor. We have enough brain cells to learn and to absorb information to understand how to help our body stay healthy, heal neurologically, and again, chemically what we eat, how much exercise, how much we move. And when we're not feeling good, okay, now how do we get to that healthier state again? When you're in a healthier state, when you have a routine every day, every week, then that's your normal. When you go away from that, you're gonna understand, you're gonna feel what it feels abnormal. When we're in a healthy state, that's your normal, then we have to kind of get back there and then maintain it over time. I've had COVID twice now.
Okay.
I've had chronic grief, and I have other things going on too. So I have to learn how to help myself don't overdo it versus doing too much.
So it's finding your balance.
Yes. It's amazing how it comes full circle.
Right. And I think each of us, as we become more ageless and timeless, as I have to say.
Like it. We use that piece.
Yeah.
Timeless.
It is my official definition for the aging process, ageless and timeless. But as we become more so, and as we become more aware of our bodies, and as we become more concerned about maintaining health, because let's face it, when we're young, we think we're bulletproof, and we just kind of
Invincible.
bounce along until something stops us in our tracks. But as we become more knowledgeable, as we become more aware, as our body begins to show the signs of all the wonderful things we have put it through, and not to say that it ever stops trying to maintain us, thank God.
Yes.
But when it starts to show those signs, that awareness, the things like your sciatic, and the things like, I know you have tension in your neck, you have issues with that, and your various issues.
Arthritis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and stuff. As we become more aware, we want to be able to find those tools that work. Chiropractic science If you think.
Well, and a lot of it's not, and it's depending, it's understanding who's the information too, right?
Mhm.
You want to stay healthy, you want to be dependent on medications,
Mhm.
or being told, I had a patient, she was told not to because of nerves.
Right.
That caused more weakness, more tightness, more pain, but because of that advice, it got her into a worse state. So I want to make sure this is someone that has, if you want to cause someone's well-being in mind, not just a quick fix.
Mhm.
So understanding where your information is coming from too, have trusted sources. Pick Denice's brain.
Could I get you to discuss a little bit about alignment
Good.
in the body?
Good.
And why it's so important that we be aware of that?
What I do, number one, is always have people do, is do we sit more or do we stand more throughout the day? What do you think?
Sit.
Sit or stand, right? Mostly sitting. When we sit, how do most people sit? They sit like this. Okay, use the back of the chair. Some people ergonomically are told at their offices that they should have a footrest here doing this the whole time. Okay, here I'm going to take a nap. That's what I'm going to do here in this position. The problem is here, now our back is doing this. If my feet are in front of me, then now my whole body's having to hunch forward. And rule of thumb, if I'm in flexion, my bones stick, they get tighter, my muscles get weaker. My body's spinal position, alignment if you want to call it that, the most of the position is going to be straight up. I want to have my feet underneath me as my checklist, my knees below my hips, and my hips on the first third of the chair. This allows me to sit up straight in my seat, like I'm standing ergonomically, allowing my spine to hold my body weight versus my muscles. Are bones more dense or thicker or stronger or muscle? What do you think? Bones or muscle? What has a thicker, dense material? Bones, right? Simple. So if bones are more dense, they can hold more load, letting your body sit on top of your bones versus making your muscles hold you from falling forward. So I want to make sure someone, again, simple checklist, feet underneath you, knees below your hips, hips are first to the third of the chair, head up. And if I have a screen, I'm looking this way, I'm not doing this. And some people say, well, I'm going to, if you want to call it, stay here. The problem is now we want to do one more thing. Shoulders have to roll back. So I want someone to feel, so you can see it too, I want to feel my lower back almost hunch forward a little bit or lean forward a little bit to have good position so my muscles are activated, hold me from falling backwards. If I get my body to lean back more now, my muscles work, they're active, isometrically contracting to hold my body up versus relaxed, overly stretched, and becoming weaker over time. If I do this, my body will naturally, being center of gravity more toward my feet, stay upright, versus here I will naturally want to hunch forward. So use your biomechanics properly. I tell people too, the back of the chair is just decoration. It's not really much. You can put a picture on there if you want. You should be able to sit here for a long period of time, especially the classes you do here, to make your body stay healthy and strong. So from this position, now the same mechanics from my hips to my head should be the same when I'm standing. So what people do is stand against the wall, or if that's a mirror, I guess, here, with your heels, hips, shoulders, and head against the wall, hips, shoulders, and head. So I'm staying here as a normal position, not normal, but an ideal position. By having that, someone may say, it doesn't feel comfortable. I go, fantastic, we have something to change. My body is used to this every day. What's going to happen? That's their normal. So I want them to see and feel what ideal normal is, because again, here, you're going to have the least likely chance of having back pain, neck pain, headaches, arm pain, sciatica, anything neurological or mechanical. So I want to make sure our body can reset itself every day and stay here. How do I reinforce this position? By walking. So walking, I'm going to walk this way. How many patients do? Against the wall. Take a step forward. So try this. Let's go against it if you guys don't mind. Try a flat surface.
Come on, class and bar, just like.
The bar might be a little painful.
They don't want to do that camera.
It doesn't matter. I'll switch positions. Here. So here, go against the wall all the way.
Yeah, because you'll be up against the bar.
Or the one, the mirror, sorry, mirror. From there, now bring your feet, again, feet touch the wall, hips, shoulders, and head. With your shoulders too, roll your shoulders back a little bit, as Lisa showed you before, so we're staying here. What's this do? It brings your hands either open here, or at least even.
Is it virtual?
No, it's not live.
Okay, are you filming?
Yeah.
Okay, so the students that are here will need to sign a release from you for filming them?
So you did a workshop on other Wednesday too.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so they signed to release for us to film them, but you will need a release for them to film.
Cool, done. Cool,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, and in the future, please let us know because literally it's not
That was
authorized.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So here we're gonna do. Most people when they stand against the wall, they start doing this. Why do we do this with our palms facing out? The reason is our shoulders are normally forward. If we have to learn where our body should go. Having your hands here is your test that my shoulders are open versus being closed. So if we're going to focus on something, let's keep our hands open as much as possible. So if they rest here with your thumbs pointing forward, it's a lot better than your thumbs pointing toward you. All right. Any questions about that?
Big mountain pose, ladies.
Mountain pose. See, I didn't know this one.
Yeah.
All right. So here, if I'm here, now take a step forward for me. And with take a step forward, same position, put the weight on your heels. Lean back on your heels. And I feel like you're falling forward a little bit. Fantastic. That's when we train our body here to stay here when we stand, when we walk. So we walk heel to toe, head up the whole time, instead of midfoot here, going this way. So we want to roll our feet too, as he's probably spoken to, sorry, is we roll our feet heel to toe so we don't smash our legs together on the ground. So try a couple steps that way and see how that feels. Does that feel weird? I see a couple like, oh no.
We haven't done this before in class. We've done the sobriety test, but
I do that only at night when I'm driving home.
when somebody stops you,
Yeah.
somebody makes you do it.
And try that back to it. Again, remember, head up the whole time. Let your feet learn to use reception, proprioception, so then you can just use your eyes to know where you're going to go. Most people do this, they want to sit in front of them. It's going to be fine. At that point, head up, so now your body can reset itself where it has to go. Try that going back to. Let's see. Weird, awkward, it comes like you're back in junior high school. I understand. Right? But it's something to where we can train our body. And if you're willing, again, just try some home against the wall, most likely to, is here. Now, try doing it with your eyes closed. That point, your brain really has to work to use your feet to balance out your body. There's something in your brain called the writer's reflex that allows you to use the horizon as a way to balance your body. If I'm now using that, and then my body has, okay, now what do I do? Your feet are their best way, your proprioception, especially with barefoot, to really feel where your body has to go when you go heel to toe, with your head up the whole time. Any questions about that?
No, but I do have a question.
Yes.
Because even I find with myself and quite a few people, I have the opportunity to observe. There are times when I come forward with my head, even if the rest of me is aligned, and I know that creates that
neck tension. So allowing your body to go, I need to, this is more of a habit. If I feel I'm going for it, I gotta make sure my chin goes back. I'm staying here, my shoulders, feel it stays open. Once I feel my shoulders come up, it has to shorten those muscles in your upper traps, get your head to come forward. Once you feel those muscles tighten up to hold your head back, you got, okay, I gotta get my head back in. But again, it's tough because, especially standing is easier, I think, to do that. But when we're sitting, then we get the problem where we're sitting and now we're doing, realize our head is not an even weighted bowling ball. Facial bones and teeth are most of the way to the skull. At that point, we have to physically teach our body to translate our head backwards to stay here instead of stay here. And how does that work? Getting your upper back muscles stronger. Getting your lower back muscles stronger. By doing these classes and taking things home that work for you to actually do them every day. How many days a week? every day, even the Sabbath. But it allows you to reset. I had to do, where did I go yesterday? I had to drive yesterday. And again, I was driving, I was traffic. So I took the steering wheel and contracted my shoulder blades the whole time. Contract, relax, to get my upper back to work the whole time. So can you get these muscles back here to really keep your body in the whole time instead of relaxed out? Again, as you learn here too, it's the balance of your pec muscles, pec minor, pec major, anterior delt, medial delt, posterior delt, upper traps. That balance of contracting backwards is not natural because we sit so much. So we have to naturally or actively contract those muscles over time to keep our body back. Yes.
All that helps in regards, I've heard that the slip disc.
Slip disc, yes. It'll keep, if you go, and again, good question. If the body's an extension, mechanically the bones take the pressure off the disc. The body's in flexion, then there's more pressure on top of the disc. The disc is like it's a flat little pancake. The very front and back, especially the front, is not very strong. And the sides are not very strong. So once you go forward, you can slip that disc back very easy. When we go back, that thicker part is meant to hold our body weight more. So you can focus on getting our body to extension wherever you are, sitting, standing, moving, allows your body to not put pressure on those discs to allow things to stay in a normal, ideal position. If you're not getting it stronger here, getting your back muscles, rectospinal muscles. Rectospinal muscles go where, Denise? Rectospinal muscles? Your whole spine, right? So come over to these morning. So here, stand facing that way. Rectospinal muscles, you have 3 sections. Base of the skull, mid-back, right below your brow line down to your tailbone. But getting the extension, leaning back more, leaning in more, gets all of them to contract and work. So when you feel that, for example, sciatica, I'm going to think in my head, if I'm normally good, how do I get that area stronger? How do I make sure these back muscles get stronger? How do I do kickbacks? How do I do leg lifts? How do I do a warrior pose? And make sure that area stays strong. Every day.
So these are latissimus.
All of them, lats. The rectospinal are basically they're deep spinal muscles, but you have about 7 layers back muscles, 3 layers mid-back, and about 4 layers upper back.
Okay.
So deep muscles of the spine is what I'm worried about, make sure they get stronger. Those are muscles that back surgeons see are the weakest muscles of the back when they do back surgery, because people don't work them properly, or they're locked up. I get patients that they work out a lot, but the problem is their spine is locked up. So I have to release that spine pressure to make those bones move, so those deep muscles do work better. Then the disc can release. Then what you're doing now will be more effective.
These
Yes.
muscles here, okay?
Yep.
This is where I tend to have challenges,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And so where do I need to help support this? Where do I need to
Here
go?
would be getting the glutes activate more, as you know, and also, I would say rectospinae here, and the deep muscles that come across some of the obliques to make them work better.
Okay.
So for me, it would be doing, for example, here, I took a chair, and doing kickbacks here, hold for one side, again, both sides individually. If you do them both at the same time, that would be a miracle. I can't. I can't do that, not my thing. And then working some of these side muscles too. Okay. Here, keeping the knee up and coming out.
Okay, so these are
Pre-pose. Yep. And just holding that. I like holding the muscles so you really feel it. And then relax.
full rotations around.
Exactly.
So that's good as well for the.
You think about six ranges of motion, correct? We have, if you want to call it lateral, let's see this. We have a x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. We want to make sure all those axes are rotation, lateral bending, and what's the other one?
Don't put me on the spot.
Rotation left and right, and lateral bending. Okay, those are the main motions, secondary motions. So we have to make sure all the muscles and joints in rotation and also lateral bending. Lateral bending also flexion extension too. That's the other ones I'm thinking of.
So we say oblique.
Obliques here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We want to do lateral bends too.
Sides.
Hold, and then what's the one I missed? Flexion extension.
Forward and back.
So we want to make sure we're working all the range of motions all the time.
Because we don't do these normally. We don't do these naturally.
And I like doing those, the rotations on the floor, because when you're lying flat, you can't hurt your back. There's no vertical load of weight on your body on your lower back. If you have a lower back issue, there's no gravity pushing your body weight on the lower back. If I'm standing, there's a better chance of hurting myself. So lying down, you get things to stay open.
We don't have the option to lay on the floor. Then standing.
And standing's fine,
Better.
and using a chair is part of it too.
Okay, we do use the chair.
At that point, that gives you more stability.
Okay.
I think that's the key is, what can we do? What can we do versus what we can't?
Can't do. Okay.
And then trying things that may be uncomfortable, you get a little stronger, a little more flexible. Be consistent every day. If you know, like for example, I blew my knee out before, I blew my shoulder out before. If I don't keep them loose, if I don't keep them strong, they tighten up. During COVID, gyms were closed down, I had no weights, I had my wife's 5-pound peak weights, that's all I had. So I'd do 50 of these and 50 of these and keep moving around until I figured something started to warm up.
Okay, and that spinal alignment, is that going to help support when we do have challenges with the knees? With
Exactly.
the hips, with the ankles?
And for knees especially, we want to make sure that we're getting it stronger in all directions, right? Your quad muscle, your knee, your upper thigh muscles are not just really one muscle. You have your magnus, you have your lateralis, and you have your medialis. So if I have someone have knee pain, go try this. Do 10 of these, 10 with your foot straight up, and then your foot out to get the inside stronger, then foot in to get the outside stronger. Usually your lateralis, the side of your thigh or quad, is supported by a secondary muscle TFL band, so that's usually pretty strong. Because of that imbalance, it'll make the inside muscle weaker along with the VMO muscle around the kneecap itself.
Now, what if you already have a challenge and you don't have that flexibility anymore? What can be done to help? Is it just building the muscles that support that area?
It is, but also testing it if it's tight.
Okay.
So for example, I'll have someone do this. I'll have someone go against a wall. Here, I'll try this and see if it's gonna work. Here against the wall. And if they have tight hamstrings, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come down and see how tight they really are.
Okay.
And hold that position, and slowly work myself
Go
up.
back up. Okay.
And use your body weight to really stretch those hamstrings out. You can use a roller. If you ever used a roller before, a foam roller
I
before,
haven't used them here, but.
it's not very fun to start. Not very fun at all, but it's very effective.
Okay.
So if the roller works for you, rolling at your quads and also your calves.
Okay.
If you have tight hip flexors, what do you want to do for tight hip flexors?
You're gonna move them.
Good.
Yeah. Motion is motion. Yeah.
That's I always move. I have people do too. Is if they can put a pad down. I'll use it over here. Pad down on their knee and do a lunge forward and up.
Okay.
Get that back to really stretch.
So that's our low lunge.
That's it. That's it. Coming forward, translate forward, push your body up. So that hip flexor here loosens up. If our hip flexors are tight, do you guys know about antagonistic muscles?
Before you
Sure.
go over, let me just ask a
Good,
question.
good.
Because if
Logic
we
is-
can't,
yep.
get down on the floor, can I do a similar, because you were in a low lunge
Yes.
there. I can come here and do this, and this, is that
You
comparable? or
can,
no?
but make sure we're doing that with a really going to extension too.
Oh, okay, so go back.
Exactly,
Take-
go
take
back.
extension, okay.
So if you want to put your foot and your knee against the wall and then lean back even more
Okay.
and bring that outside foot further back and when you're comfortable, really stretch that hip out and look up.
And if I have the knee restriction,
And
then,
I would you want to support a little bit this way, put more weight on your right leg
okay.
and slowly creep your foot
Okay,
backwards
as far as
as you can and then
And then come back.
lean back and put more weight on that outside
But
back
this-
hip.
This knee is not
to
as
calm
far
that down.
forward because of the restrictions. So with that being said, then you can take it all the way back as far as you can.
Exactly, take the load off that knee into your opposite right hip and stretch it out.
Gotcha,
The
okay.
reason people do this stretch is when we sit a lot, we get tight hip flexors. The muscles shorten. If our antagonistic muscles, if it's tight here, it's weak here. So you have to make sure we keep our hips loose in that process.
So that's why it becomes critical that you work everything.
Everything.
360.
Hip flexors, anything in front is usually tight. Anything in back is usually weak.
Okay.
So you want to stretch out your front, maybe pec minors, pec majors, hip flexors, and then strengthen your back muscles from your tailbone up to your neck. Yeah, that's part of it. But really get things that contract and move is the key. Is one other thing too. When we have problems to where our legs are off a little bit, sometimes we'll do a lunge this way and feel comfortable. We'll lift this way and go, it doesn't feel very comfortable. I'm going to check for a leg length problem, for example, and to see if the legs are off or not. So Denise, you want to lie down real quick? Oh, sure. We'll show real quick. Let's see. Be what I'm thinking. This is a good test if you have. Yep, I jump on your back with chronic back problems, because you'll understand if my legs are off, then my hips are off. And I'll show you what that means. So here, as we expect, Denise is perfect. Okay, she's perfect. But if she wasn't perfect, say her right leg is longer, or I'm sorry, shorter than her left leg. So look more like this. Okay, that would tell me her hips are going to be off. So her hips here, if her right leg is higher, her left leg is lower, her hips are going to be like this, rising this way. That's happening when she's lying down. When she's standing, you're good. When you're standing, my right leg's longer. I'm going to start doing this to compensate. Instead of being flat, even here, level, I'm going to start doing this to compensate. If I do this long enough, and now my body doesn't want to go this way, I'm going to stay back here, center of gravity, I'm going to cause lower back pressure. So it allows me, by doing that test, allows me to say, okay, now what we have to focus on really is doing that lunge stretch or the modified one on the wall to get those hips to stay loose. We're all off a little bit anatomically, that's normal. But if we're off enough, now I'm here enough, here, my body's gonna come back, this upper body, now where's all that torque, where's all the pressure? Right here. If I'm here, my body will naturally, without me thinking of center of gravity, will shift here to drop that hip. Now I come back to center, and I'm here, I go to pick something up to my left, I go to do this, now it pinches. So I want to make sure people understand, if they have that, how do I do enough of those lunges, modified or on the wall, to make sure those hips stay even, then get stronger there. Get your back stronger once it stays. So for example, I have someone who has that, and they walk a lot for exercise, which is great. I want them to do the stretches first, walk, and do stretches again. Because their body has already learned to make that their normal, right? This is their normal. So we want to make sure over time we correct that, and then reset it, and then lock it in with the walking.
Might be a question.
You're good.
Okay, I don't want to take over your time. But a lot of us are walkers.
Yes, fantastic.
And that tends to shorten muscles more so, say, than when we're stretching and doing our yoga or our Pilates. So where does the balance lie with that? So I know you say stretch before, stretch after.
I'm more of a stretcher, but for me, a stretcher before, that's my thing.
Okay.
But it's being aware of where your body is. And anytime, for example, if I'm going to walk, I'm going to do my things, and I'm going to take a break, take a nap, or take a rest, I'll make sure I stretch before I rest. Because how do you normally rest? You do what? We sit, right? Or lie down, whatever it is, do. So when you sit and lie down, it shortens again.
That's true.
So can we, before we do our rest period, after our workout or our day, make sure we stretch again?
Okay.
Whenever it's going to be. Someone's working full days, have a stretch before work, come home before they rest, before they tighten up again, have them stretch again.
Okay.
Then they get the benefit. Because once you go to relax, things cool down, they naturally tighten. We sleep, they tighten.
So your recommendation is then before we settle in.
Before you end your day, boom, before I go to settle in, watch my soap opera, what do we do at night? At that point, we do my stretching. And make sure. One more time before I go to bed. I think, again, the routine is going to be up to you, but that's usually what works for people based on their schedule. All right? Any questions, ladies?
This is a weird question, but
Yes.
and it's probably been about 6 months. I've been coming about 5 months, but on the left hip flexor, it'll catch like when we're going down. And it's probably because, you know, I've been dealing with these knee
knees,
issues for
exactly.
15 years. So I finally got this one, this was my bad one, this one needed surgery for, you know. So I'm hoping that this surgery will help that. But even like yesterday when I was gardening, you know, I'm trying to catch up and do everything I can't in the next few weeks. So coming up, oh man, it caught big time. So, you know, the old school, and I can't do it anymore, but you know when you would sit and you put your feet together and then you spread your legs like a frog or whatever, you know, and you push your legs down. So laying in bed, you know, I can tell this leg goes flat.
It's
You
not
know,
as tight.
even with the full knee, I can almost get it to the mattress, but, so laying down, can you
Go
stretch
for
your
it,
knees?
go for it.
Stretch
Try
your-
to put, to show you something I might have thought about.
Yeah.
Is, can we do that same one?
Well, you can use the other one if it's,
Okay.
yeah.
It's here, another modification, is try this. Just to see.
Can't go on the floor.
Exactly. So what I'm gonna have you do is bring your leg, let's do it this way. Bring your leg back this way on the chair. Use this one for balance. Then lean back and slowly bring your leg, this is your left side, left side. Bring your leg back this way. Allow your foot to come further back. And see if that feels okay to you.
Yeah.
Want to try that?
If my knee will let me.
Let's see, I said, by doing this here, there should be no knee pressure, should be more of a muscle stretch. Try it and see. Might as well. Yeah, might as well.
Uh-oh.
You should call me later.
Sorry,
you know?
ladies. I don't
Work
want
it
to
out.
take anyone's time. Okay, so left knee, go back as far as I can, and then that feels good.
And then bring that foot, if you can, further back.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's good,
How does that feel?
fine. I don't really feel anything.
Good.
I mean, I don't have
So lean
anything.
back a little bit
Lean
too.
back, oh yeah, I feel it right
There
here.
you go, perfect.
Oh
And
wow.
for you at home, at the side of the bed, same thing here, let your leg drop on the side of the bed at home, and then let your foot slowly come back with your shoe on to hold that
Oh yeah,
position.
yeah. Oh,
If you like,
wow.
I want this here for balance too, if you want to get some
Yeah,
balance.
okay,
And
no,
push back
that's
more.
interesting.
Push back more if that feels
Oh
good.
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just to see if that's gonna help. I'll get modifications.
Nice.
But at home, inside of the bed, you the leg fall off, and let that leg come back.
Oh, see, this is
Normal.
normal, this is the total knee, and it's, of course, it's mad
It's
because
hard to
I've
get that.
been doing too much this last week.
Yeah, you-
Okay, so I won't do that.
That's the modification you can do to get that hip looser
Yeah,
here.
okay.
And if you feel comfortable, go on even a foam roller
Oh, yeah,
and put that basically here up and keep that loose too.
okay,
Anytime I have a quad tightness,
yeah.
or even a knee tightness or a hip tightness, I always test the patient with blowing out the whole quad, because anywhere in the muscle, it's gonna attach to the knee and the hip to cause those hip pains too. Realize your quad muscle, right? Any muscle in your body, your belly of the muscle is always the strongest, but attaches with tendons to your knee and to your hip.
To the hip, yeah.
So you wanna make sure those tendons are loose, if not, they can pull on the bone to make the joint feel tight.
Right. And there are a lot fewer, in my experience, there are a lot fewer readily accessible stretches for the quads. Let's say for the hamstrings or the glutes or even the calves. I find it a lot more challenging to find things.
And holding the stretch too for like 30 seconds to a minute would allow the ligaments and tendons to really stretch. If you're comfortable, you can go on a roller and put that roller right here and lie down flat. Even try in the bed first and let that leg slowly extend backwards. That's my night. If I'm reading something like that, I'll lay on my stomach on a mat, put 5 minutes on the quad here, a roller, let my leg come back, and 5 minutes on the other side. And slowly let things stretch.
Sleeping positions probably. can
It
be
depends.
too.
It's different for everybody. It's when you sleep, the back is always the best. But if you're side sleeper, that's fine too. But when you sleep in a neck, you tighten up. If you have injuries, the body heals when we don't move. So it's going to heal tight. So in the car accidents, I have a lot of whiplash cases in my office. Is I always ask them, how do you feel in the morning? And they keep telling me, man, it still hurts in the morning. It's still healing. You can't be too aggressive yet. Because things have to heal to get stronger, but they get tight at the same time. You get tighter, that's the problem. Tightness is what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
That's why the morning is so important to kind of know where your body is. How do I feel in the morning? What feels tight, what feels sore? What do I have to tonight, the next night, stretch before I go to bed to keep those areas loose?
That, being able to do that in bed is ideal, you know, because
Huge.
then you're already
You're already there.
prone. Yeah.
You're there.
And so you
No.
don't have to worry about getting up and down off of a hard surface.
In my office, I have tables, so I'll have someone bring their leg back behind the table, lie flat, see which side feels tighter. Do both sides typically, but then make sure those hips stay loose. And sometimes you can have back tightness from that too. So if you try that at home, make sure when you come back, okay, if it's tight back here, you back it off a little bit to make sure I can handle that pressure. Yeah, just work. How does it work? All right.
Questions, ladies?
No, I've never heard about stretching after walking or before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So how many minutes do you do this?
Whatever I do in the morning, do the same thing at night.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't take very long,
Yeah.
but it's something we don't think about.
Stretching is
Yeah.
basically doing what we
What
do
we,
first thing.
exactly what we do, the warm-ups that we do.
If I want to feel good tomorrow, I'm going to stretch
The
today.
night before.
If I have a good workout tomorrow, I'm going to stretch today. If I'm going to have just a normal day, I'm going to stretch today. I don't want to think about it. I'm not very, it's too many things up there already. I just stretch because I know it's part of my routine. Like a cup of coffee in the morning. It's my part of the stretch routine.
Here's the most important thing I'm hearing here, aside from specific technical things: consistency, consistency, consistency.
Every day.
Consistency, consistency, consistency.
If you have something that does bother you, before you go to bed, make sure we stretch again. Make sure we stretch to make sure tomorrow feels good. We can always strengthen, that's not a problem. But if you strengthen all of a sudden, oh, I pulled my calf, what did I not do? I forgot to stretch. But I forgot to warm up. That's the key. It's just keep it consistent. Show up every Wednesday, you'll be fine. Yay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'll leave some cards for you too if you need some cards.
Oh, please, thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.